Recording in progress. There we go, folks. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Fun day. We're going to get started today. Hope you're feeling well. We're all done organizing?
Yeah.
Good. To get started, we're going to come to the center parts of our mat. We're going to step our feet to the edge of the mat with the heels on the mat and the toes angling outward. Let's bring some straightness to the legs. Let's begin to hollow out through the belly. And as we expand through the spinal column, draw your shoulders up. We're going to rotate our palms face backwards. Imagine you've got 10 strings, one tied to each of your digits, fingers and thumbs, and pull your arms down and bring some straightness to them. Now, imagine there's kind of a pull and push effect going on. So as the strings pull the fingers, let's imagine there's two other strings attached to the shoulders as we slowly raise them towards the ears, and now spiral open the palms with fingers spread widely. As you get them to the widest opening that you have, draw the elbows backwards. Now, as the elbows draw backwards, I'd like you to squeeze together and then begin to circle open the palms. And as you find that nice opening through the chest, imagine those strings begin to pull the fingers away from the center line of the body. Nice and wide, almost like you're pulling your shoulders off the center of the body. Big inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. And as you exhale, relax the arms down. Let's do that all over again. I know because we're having so much fun. Arms straight, fingers pull down, palms face backwards, shoulders pull upwards with the resistance of the downward pull of the fingers. As we rise to the apex, the highest point, I want you to begin to circle open the hands all the way around, as far open as they can. And as you inhale, sweep to the sun. Oh, good morning. Now, as we hold up here, I'd like you to bring cupping to the hands. Imagine you've got a grapefruit, big one in each hand, and we have those fingers wrapped around it. We have the arms slightly anterior, just in front of the face. And I want you to imagine now that each grapefruit has a string attached to it, and it pulls away from the body. Big fill with the lungs. And as you exhale this time, draw the hips backwards. Keep those arms raised nice and tall. Push the hips back forward. Grapefruits maintain that pull away from the body for that nice opening through the lats and a little bit of tension through the back, the spinal column as we hip hinge backwards. Hold on this for one more repetition, and as you release your breath, fold it down. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend both knees. Straighten both legs. Bend and straighten. As we do this, let's make sure we're crowding out the chest and have nice extension through the spinal column. And as you begin to warm those muscles, explore the depth down. How low can you go, folks? It seems like the opposite of a pep talk. Let's sink to new lows today. All right, now let's hold it down and then step your forearms up and onto the thighs. I'm going to hang out here for a couple breaths. Now, as you do, I'd like you to bring some openness to the chest. I'm simply saying, crowd it out. Bring hands over heart as we give this kind of yoga squat an opportunity to rise. We're pushing from the heels, come all the way up. And then as we descend, we're going to keep that same long spine. Let's make sure we're not stressing through the neck. Draw the chin inward and upward, and then slowly raise up. Let's do it one more time, 3 times. This is the charm. Hold it down this time. Bring your hands to the floor. Push your booty to the sky. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Straightness to the legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Spine is an extension. Knees bend. Hands come over hearts. Squat it low, and then slowly raise it up. Good work. Big inhale. Exhale. Salute the sun. Wrap those grapefruits. Use those imaginary strings to pull skyward, those wrapped hands as you draw the hips backwards. Excuse me, feet are hip width apart. As you inhale, And now exhale, let the arms fall. Keep the grapefruits, but open them as you sweep backwards. Inhale, bring it up, forward. Raise with long arms, not with bent elbows. Open as you return back. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower. One more inhale. On this exhale, pull that butt back and fold it down. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, pull. Bring hand to opposite elbow. Let it just hang out and enjoy. Let's just do this all class, the whole class. Now, step your hands on top of the thighs. With the assistance of a little push from the arms, bring some straightness to that spinal column and make the back parallel to the floor. Let's draw your chin up and in. So it pulls in towards the neck and it pulls up and away from the body. Now, as we maintain that long neutral spine, I'd like you to proud out the chest and begin to pull your butt back. You'll feel the weight mostly in the heels as you let those hips lower. And then I'm going to push back to the sky, the hips, and bring parallel to the back again. Slowly lower and slowly raise. And do that a couple more times. Explore the down, right? How low can you get those hips and maintain that nice balance in the feet? And this last rep, hold those hips down, let the hands sweep forward, and see if you can sink a little lower, and then slowly raise the body and salute the sun. Good morning. Big fill of air, powerful exhale, fold it down, and get into plank. Any way you want to. Let's bring the knees, the toes tucked gently to the floor. And let's keep that as we push the heels backwards and bring the hips high to the sky and remove the bend from our knees. Slowly rolling over the ball of each big toe as we lower down. Feel that nice pull to the lower leg posterior. Raise back up. Now, drift back and pull up and back the butts to the sky as we down dog this. Doggone it, don't you just love it? Sweeping back to high plank. Knees lower. Now, spread them wide. Bring the heels together as you drift back to child's pose. Walk the hands forward. Come back up. Let's get onto all fours. This time, we're going to flip so that the tops of the feet are our connection points. And now drift back and enjoy a nice lengthening through the anterior or front leg muscles as you walk the hands forward for child's pose. Keep long, keep elevated the forearms so the palms are your resting place. Wiggle from side to side slowly. And then calm that. And now walk the hands back towards the knees. And like a frog-like type position, we're going to keep the hands underneath the shoulders just for support and see if you can sink the hips a little more towards the heels. Take the gaze straight forward, but if you're craning the neck, if you feel that stress by looking forward, change that look by pulling the chin in and then raising it ever so slightly. Now, come back onto all fours, tuck your toes, bring everything to the edges of the mat, hands, knees, feet. Spread those fingers nice and wide. As we widely spread the fingers, I'd like you to take your elbows and rotate them internally, and then take your chest and let it drop in between the arms. Take your tailbone and pull it to the sky. And oh, what the heck, let's do the same with the back of the head. Now, as we hold in this cow pose, I'd like you to hollow out the belly and feel the tension through that core of yours, right across the tummy. As we hold on that, elevate the knees ever so slightly off the earth, and then slowly lower them back down. Bring full weight back into the knees. And as while we maintain that nice internal rotation of the elbows, float and slowly return. Knees, reset each time, like it's a brand new start. And do that for a couple more times. If you're already done, you've been moving too quickly, and slow it down. On this next up, hold up, draw back the hips, straight back, and now pull them to the sky. Ride those heels of yours to the earth and walk those hands back to the feet. Float forward and back and find equal weight distributed through the foot. I have a little wider than hip width stance. I urge you to try the same. Spread those toes nice and widely. Inhale, extend, flat back. Exhale, pull. Inhale, Pilates style. Stack each vertebrae and sweep those arms to the sky. Good morning again, everybody. Exhale, relax them. Keeping the palms facing inward, draw the shoulders up. Open now the palms, pull the elbows back. Take your right foot, step it forward. The orientation of the upper body is not leaning in today. We're more vertical. And I just want to make sure the ball of that big toe, that left foot, kind of more of the emphasis of weight. The heel of the same foot aiming more skyward than inward or outward. We're going to basically lower the heel and push back up onto the toes while we hold this nice activation across the upper back. Slowly up, slowly down, tension throughout that whole up and down thing. Now, while we hold up, hold back the elbows a little more, giving a little more opening through the chest. Take the upper body and just imagine you chop through the hips and let it drift forward. Now we're weighting more into that front leg. You should feel a little more effort. Keep the shoulders pulling off the center line. Keep those elbows backwards. We're just training our body how to not collapse inwardly as we bring our body forwardly oriented. Come back to an upright position. Take that back foot, step it forward, relax the arms, shake it out. Grab some water if you want to. Cheers to you. All right, I know you're dying to get out of that position. But don't worry, we got more up. Oh, something to look forward to. All right. We stepped it forward to get into the first side, but we're going to step it backwards to get into the opposite side. What's up?
There's the little baby.
Huh. All right, so mostly upper body is vertical. Upper body is vertical. Palms face forward. Draw back those elbows. Take that back heel, slowly drive it to the earth and raise back up. I call it pistoning because it's kind of like the piston of a car engine. Not to get too technical, and most women go, I don't even know what that looks like. Fine. Just move the heel up and down. Are we there? All right.
We're there.
We're there.
We're so happy to be here.
Ooh, so happy to be here. Slowly, and more repetitions are coming up, but with something different. Okay, now keep up on the toes. Slowly drift it downward. Long spine, elbows pulling back, shoulders not rotating inwardly, holding on this. Big, long spine, neck, long, uncompressed. And then come back up to vertical. Step the back foot forward. Great job. Shake it out. Thank you. Sweep to the sky. Grab those grapefruits. Oh, not the grapefruit grab. Oh, no. And imagine they're being pulled skyward. And the orientation is very important that we're not pulling backwards. We have that lat pulling out right from its base all the way through the arms, reaching to the sky and drift those hips backwards. Big inhale. And as you exhale, pull the hips back, relax those hands, sweep the fingers to the floor. Let the spine flex. Let it just kind of hang out. Let's bring your palms to the shin. This is called our founders, basically.
we're gonna use some hip hinching. So I'd like you to take your elbows and rotate them away from the body or more forward. And if your neck is just hanging out, imagine now you're starting to grow the spinal column and the neck. And let's take the butt and let it lower down. Put a little bit of pressure into the palms, but don't let those elbows rotate inwardly. Keep that nice exterior rotation. And we're going to hold out here for a couple seconds as we grow the spinal column. Now, keep the hips down, unhinge. We're going to just let the hands slide up right about kneecap height, and then let the arms sweep forward. Now, low back, anything that's starting to compress there, I'd like you to activate, almost like you're kind of taking your pelvic curl and making it work differently by not pushing backward, but by pulling inward, holding on, arms extending forward, head looking forward. Now, lower down, an inch or two raise up, and just oscillate between those 2 points. Now, sink a little lower, rise a little higher, sink a little lower, and rise a little higher, and one more time down, and one more time up. And salute the sun. Big inhale, exhale, take it down to the mat. Mat time.
Did you say nap time?
No, you missing.
That's what you would say.
I appreciate the humor. All right. Before you get bored, let's get back to work. Now, we're going to roll down Pilates style. My heels are on the corners of the mat, and my knees are bent, slightly greater than 90 degrees. I'm going to rock my pelvic girdle with the intention of finding a nice connection of the skin of the lower back. Now, you might need to play with your feet position. Whatever works for you, figure out how to get that low back skin touching. Take your arms and basically bring your elbows out about shoulder width. I'm going to keep my hands on my chest, and I'm going to take my chin and try to pull it into the spinal column. And as I do that, I'm going to kind of resituate. If needed, you might already have it. Resituate the shoulder blades so I'm flat on them. And then I'm going to use my elbows and try to pull them away from the center line of the body without compromising the shoulder blades. Excuse me, shoulder blades. Now, we had that bend in the knee, we kept it, and we're going to rotate the thighs into touch. So the toes are going to angle towards the center line, but definitely we have an inward rotation of the thigh. Now, if you rotated those thighs and you felt the low back skin touch kind of release a little bit, reposition the feet where you can achieve both low back skin and inward rotation. Hold on that. Imagine the spinal column is kind of glued to the mat. You're going to take your elbows and pull them off the center line a little more if you can. Just nuances. And now take your forearms and make 90 degrees in the elbow. Excuse me. Don't be touching me. Now, spread your fingers and wrap the grapefruits. Keep the thighs squeezing together and keep that low back skin touching the mat as you begin to not reach with the wrists, but rotate the forearms down towards the earth in front of you. Hold on this for a couple seconds. Evaluate what's going on with the shoulders. Are you seeing them kind of pop off? And if they are, I'd like you to struggle, put some effort to keep them pinned to the earth as you kind of rotate down a little more as we begin to open up those muscles that are kind of fighting the movement. We're going to take some time with this. Remember, we're not cocking through the wrist, we're rotating through the forearm. As we rotate a little more, enjoy what it's doing for you. Enjoy the effort, the journey. Now, while you hold in the low position, let's take your head and roll it from side back to center and over to the opposite side. And we're just realigning tension with the neck. We want to get rid of any if we have any. As we bring the head back center, try to rotate those forearms a little more. You might be surprised that they actually move a little more. Now, while you keep the grapefruits, we're going to begin to rotate backwards and feel the relief on some of those muscles we were basically pulling on, trying to get them to work. Now, between both sides, I'd like you to move the arms forward and back. All the while you're holding those grapefruits, and all the while you've got those thighs squeezing together. And all the while, that low back skin is still connected. And you can make it go at any speed you want, all the way back, all the way forward. And then let's bring it forward one more time. And then without cocking the wrist, let's try to rotate a little more towards the earth without those shoulders popping. And then relax, shoot the hands up to the sky, palms turn to face. Inhale, sweep them backwards. Hold those arms backwards, extend the legs all the way out. Let those inner thighs take a little breath as you point the toes. Use them to pull one direction, and then use your fingers to pull the opposite. Take a big fill of air. And as you exhale, let's Pilates style this up. Bring flexion to the feet, hands raise up over the chest, chin drops down into the chest as we peel up vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep the chin in and spinal flexion and dive the hands. And enjoy a nice low back hammies kind of stretch for a couple breaths. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Walk those hands back and back into our staff pose. All right, I'm going to grab a little water. Got a hair or something on my mouth. Cheers. Hey, how are you doing over there? Too much information? Okay. One of the great things about staff pose is that, when you're sitting for short periods of time, it doesn't really do much for you on regards to recognizing
Weakness.
well, not only weakness, that is one thing, but also postural behavior, like your posture, what feels normal. And as you sit for longer periods of time, you begin to see things starting to creep in, like you start to roll back off of the sit bones and go more onto the tailbone. And we go into what I call panda, because it kind of reminds me of how a panda would sit, well, it's peeling bamboo and it's got that belly and everything's kind of like inwardly rotated. So now that I've talked it to death, did you notice any of those things happening?
No,
No.
we're
Good.
perfect.
Perfection. All right. Now we're going to Pilates style this all the way back down. Now you can use arms extended if you want to remove some of that counterbalance. You can bring hands on shoulders and then begin to slowly imprint vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down. And then keep those hands on the shoulders. Step those feet inwardly. Let's take your toes and angle them slightly away from the center line. Find that low back skin and then lock it down. Lock down the spinal column. I want you to kind of be able to push from the heels and raise your hips to the sky. So often this is met with, again, behavioral normalcies. So the normalcy is we like to tuck under as opposed to just keeping that lumbar, that lower back stable without any kind of flexion. And it's not that flexion is bad. It's how we want to transfer work through the hips and not so much through that lumbar spine. We want those stronger muscles through the hips, transferring the weight of the body and the work through the hips as opposed to the low back. Now slowly imprint each vertebrae down. See if you can get it all the way down to the lumbar spine, one by one. And then once you've got that low back skin connected again,
let's take your feet and move them slightly wider, but this time point the toes straight forward. And slowly lift the spinal column. So what you may notice the nuance is I'm not saying peel each vertebrae we raise up. I'm asking you to be more linear with that. And as we lower, we imprint. We basically bring spinal flexion to the lumbar, sorry, the thoracic spine. And the lumbar spine, we're actually extending as we imprint vertebrae by vertebrae. And then we lock it down, and one more time, raise it up. And try to get a little higher, give me a little more push without stressing through that neck of yours, of course. And then slowly lower it down. All right, now, once you arrived, pull both knees up and into the chest. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees and rock and roll from front to back.
When you get up here, let's sweep the legs backwards. You thought I was gonna do 99.
I did, I was so excited,
I was so excited. Well, you were wrong.
apparently.
All right, so we're gonna bring our hands forward of the shoulders with our fingers separated nice and widely. And then as I begin to walk my knees backwards, I'm gonna keep the orientation of the shoulders just slightly back. So if you're into inches and you know what a couple inches is, like 2, then if your shoulders were just a couple inches back from your hands, and if it's not exact, don't worry. We have a bridge going on. So we're bridging between the knees and the hands. We have a nice wide breadth across the hands. They're almost at the edge of the mat. We're going to rotate the elbows inward. So the hands themselves, and thus the lower arms, the connection, the wrists are a little wider than shoulder width. As we keep the rotation internal of the shoulders, of the elbows, I'd like you to drop the chest in between the shoulders. We're going to keep that spine and that neck nice and neutral. So imagine you've got cannonball underneath, and it's going to fire up into your belly. Give you some muscular activation. Resist that ball without pushing out. Keep that chest kind of nestled in between those arms so the shoulder blades are relatively flat on your back, pulling off the center line of the body with elbows rotating internally, with the toes tucked. We're going to raise the knees up off the floor by pushing the heels over the ball of the feet. Now we're in a slightly extended bridge. Like if you kind of remember this spot, as we drift the hip upwards and backwards to down dog, keep the arms straight. Use them to push. Use them to help create elevation of the hips. Now, imagine you're doing a cat type movement. Engage, keep the spine flexed, and drift back to that start point with the spinal column flexing. You got a big activation there. Keep it as you drift back the hips. And keep it as you move it forward. And go backward one more time. Pull the hips high to the sky. Cat, cat, cat. Float the cat forward. And lower back down onto the knees. Great job. Let's come up onto the knees. Spread them to the edges of the mat. And tuck your toes, sorry, come on to the tops of the feet. A little bit of wardrobe adjustment here. Just call me Janet. Get the reference? Probably not. All right, so now we're in a kneeling position.
The concert,
Yeah.
Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson, Super Bowl, halftime show,
I know,
wardrobe
I know.
malfunction.
I know, everybody knows.
Simpatico. Good.
Okay,
Now, so I'm wider through the knees, narrowing in the back. Toes are kind of like giving you a little kiss, little toe time, little touch, flat on the back, on the tops of the feet. We're gonna basically bring some hip push and some lean, just like we're in Italy, leaning tower Pisa. Show a little tension on those flexors. But if you're compressing in that low back, if you feel like a little pressure there, I like you to back off the lean. I like this to be more therapeutic than destructive. So I want you to find that nice pull through those front muscles with no compression in that low back. Chest is nice and proud. I'm going to bring my hands onto my hips, and I'm going to use my elbows to help pull away from the center line. I'm going to bring my chin in towards the neck, and I'm going to grow tall as I kind of pull everything off center line, making sure I'm not compressing. And then pull the hips backwards. Untuck the toes, come on to tuck in the toes now. So you're tucked in, and we're back into a quadruped position. Wide stance quad. Now, let the head drop, and then pull the spinal column, and then take the pubis. That's the anterior front portion of it. And you're basically pulling it forward and upwards. You're kind of hollowing out the belly and bringing lots of flexion to the thoracic spine. And then we're going to relax everything, float the knees. Now pull up the hips, drive the heels, walk back, reverse plank walk. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, pull. Pilates style with a nice salute to the sun. Bring it all the way back up. Nice. As you exhale, let's step it sideways to the mat. All right. How are we doing over there?
Peachy.
Peachy. Nice. Talking about fruits. Peachy. All right, so let's bring a little bit of inward rotation of the feet, the toes, kind of angling towards a long point away from us, but more center line. Is going to bring our hands on hips, just like holding ready for a Western show. Got my 6 gun on each hip. So we're just going to hold right there with the chest nice and proud, hollowed out belly, and we're going to bring some hip flexion by pulling back. And notice my legs aren't changing much, nor is the weight in the feet. I've got that nice distributed weight bearing. So my toe box and my big toe has some weight, but it doesn't feel like it's got most of the weight. And I have a little bit of float going on. So I'm going to ask you to kind of figure out where your hips provide that nice balance of distributed weights in your feet. When you've got it, let's bring the hands to the earth. My hands don't go to the earth. I can't get that much flexion. That's fine. You just put your hands on your thighs. You're going to keep the spine in extension, but we haven't destroyed that sensation of weights in the feet. And while we keep that, and whether we have our hands on floor or on thighs, we're going to take the right hand and reach it out. This is kind of what I call a window, where we basically articulate the arm slowly up. Now it's more than just the arm, right? It's that shoulder. So we're going to raise it, tap it, and raise it a few times. You'll notice I haven't reduced the spinal extension. I have a nice long spine, and I have a nice long nice short tummy. And I'm pulling up and in. A couple more reps, and then we're going to switch up sides. You may notice as you begin to 5 repetitions that your body wants to go back to its normal state of being more forwardly oriented. How would you know that? You would feel the pressure in the feet changing, so you would adjust if you need.
Switch sides.
We did switch sides.
Oh,
All right. Couple more reps, and now we're going to alternate from side to side, right to left. Now you can do this without touching the earth, or if you need the support, you can keep that. I'm going to do it without the support right now for a few more repetitions. And then I'm going to calm it, step the feet in. Inhale, extend to a flat back as I drift the hips back, walk the hands forward. And then exhale, relax. Inhale, Pilates style, bring it up. Exhale, pull it down, going back down to the earth.
Oh, we're gonna stretch?
Are we gonna stretch?
Yeah,
That's a stretch.
stretch.
All right. Oh my God. Someone doesn't want to exercise today.
I wanna stretch.
Hmm,
I've already exercised.
I already. All right.
Hmm.
We'll do. Oh. Nice. All right. So let's take our forearms and kind of marry them together, and then let the head, drift them above the top of the head.
Sure.
And then switch up the sides and then go back at it. These are just a short, couple seconds, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And then relax. And then bring your elbows out shoulder height with your hands or fingertips just on top of your chest. And then take your head and roll it from side to side. All right, now bring those elbows into the body. So the back of the arms are now present on your mat as you slowly lower the arms. The palms are going to be facing to the sky. Let's take your right foot and bring it on to, wrap your left leg. So you're going to take your right foot onto the outside of the left leg and slide it down so that the knees are, as close as you can get them. There might be a bigger gap, but just, everyone's not the same. So just find your best version of this. And while you're kind of holding that, I'd like you to take the left knee and begin to open it towards the left side. And let that left hip just slowly pull off the earth. I'd like you to try to float the knees so we haven't arrived on the earth, and take the left arm and reach it up and
Right arm.
right arm, reach it up and directly back. And as you do so, let's wrap the grapefruit, pull with the grapefruit, keep the arm elevated slightly so it's in the peripheral vision. And while you hold that, I'd like you to try to rotate your right shoulder towards the earth as we slowly try to lower a little more and reach a little higher. It's an angled reach. It's not directly backwards. It's kind of upward and backward. And then slowly return everything back down and switch up the sides. It's a nice side body with a nice lat lengthening. Good stuff. And let's start the process, the rotation. The destination is not the earth with that knee, it's just to float as the left hand, grapefruit, cupping, and begins to pull backwards, not directly upwards. It has an angle, and then take the left shoulder and rotate it towards the earth. Return back everything. Uncrossing the legs. Take both legs together and rotate onto the side of your body. So
Which
now
side?
the left side. Thanks for calling that one in. I'm going to use my arm for support of the head, and I'm going to take my right arm and reach it directly above the head, but slightly in front. So it's got that same grapefruit cupping, pulling away on that side body. And then I'm going to rotate with the pull of that grapefruit, the right shoulder towards the earth. You may notice that the knees want to separate or pull up off the earth. Indulge them a little if they need to, but most importantly, it's just a nice, long side body. Aspects of this might be felt through the hip itself, definitely along that nice lat,
And again, it's an angled pull. It's not directly along the earth. If your arm's resting on the earth, you're missing the point. And then relax that right arm. Bring those legs, still connected, all the way over and roll onto the right side. Position your arm, support your head. Take that left arm and basically reach it backwards. And then let the left shoulder begin its rotation. The benefit of this stretch is realized by that cupping and pulling and angling slightly upward. Feel that nice. And you might feel differently on each side. We all have imbalances, different activities we do, and it responds differently or presents differently in our body. All right, now let's rotate those knees back. Return the arms. Bring the knees inward, bring the forehead to meet the knees, and rock and roll front to back. As we come up to seated position, the
5 minutes.
moment you've been waiting for is
Oh,
we're working
90
on
minutes.
stretching. Yes, now we're gonna do 90 and 90. So we're gonna bring that left leg into position, and we're gonna do the same with the right. I'm gonna come down onto my forearm. I like it down here. Now, vertical orientation. So we're gonna take that right hip and vertically orient it so it's kind of stacked on that left hip. As you take your right arm and reach it outward, again, it's a nice cupping thing, and we're going to reach and pull. So it's slightly anterior. You can see your fingers. And if you're sunk into the shoulder, use those muscles to help support that spine and pull, pull, pull. Rotate the shoulder backwards, the right shoulder, and then rotate it forward and pull, 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 and slowly lower to the earth. Great. Now, relax, sweep up, and the back knee, you're gonna raise it up onto your foot and then lower back down. And rotate the body as you open and close that knee. And then now let's hold the hips and then open and close the knee. Few repetitions. Those exterior rotators now are working really hard. Maybe you feel it burning a little bit. Let's do one more rep. And then, so I can be camera facing, I'm gonna flip it over opposite side. You can flip it over and change the direction that you're in, whatever works for you. If you're visual, want to see what the heck I'm doing, then just do what I did. All right. Forearm comes down. Beautiful. I'm going to take that left arm and we're going to sweep it up. You'll notice there's zero bend in the elbow. It's almost like the cupping grapefruits. Pull the arm straight and pulling that shoulder socket almost out of the socket. You have that nice extension. Reaching, 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 and then rotating back and all the way forward. While you roll forward, imagine that grapefruit has a stronger pull. And then sweep back up and relax that arm. And take the left knee, raise it and lower. So we're opening the hips, closing the hips and the knee. We're doing that for a few repetitions. And as we get those muscles warmed up and get some blood flow into them, now we're going to work that sucker. Keep the hips rotating forward and open and close. So it's just really a progression of the movement. You get more from this by trying to find that external rotation higher. You'll get a lot more fiber recruitment. Also helps with this signaling because you got to recruit more muscle. The neuromuscular system's got to go, oh my goodness, I need more neurons firing, getting those muscles working. On the next rep, lower down, come back up. I'm out of time. I got the rest of my life. All right, let's bring our staff pose back into position. Spine's nice and long. Relax the shoulders, proud of the chest. And let's bring our hands over heart. I may be out of time, but we have lots of time left together. Thank you for joining us today.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye-bye.
High five.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, get it done, guys, right?
Up to you guys.